Here's the chewed up edge of the soundboard. I've been digging out all the loose slivers. This one's nice and clean. That should squeeze down good when we glue it. And this one over here is quite full of little bits of wood. Try to get most of these out. That looks okay. We have these rubbers here. I'll just put that there. It'll squeeze down the irregular surface. Put some nice glue under there. Clamp that, and that'll be dry soon. Then I can start cleaning this up and putting a new edge on. Okay. There's our repair, freshly glued. I was hoping these wouldn't slide off because they're at an angle on the slippery glue. They didn't slide, that's good. They just stuck right there. We'll let that dry and then plane it off later and it should be very good. You can see our boards we added in here. This big piece, this matches quite well. On the other side, you almost can't tell. This one's a little darker on the other side. It might lighten up a little bit more and that'll be good. I think the edges are finished. That side's going to need some new holes. That entire piece. Again, we used the old soundboard to repair this soundboard. This is, I don't know what this is. It was just hanging around. Works perfectly. This is probably okay. That's not too bad. A little bit missing there. It's still mostly there though. There's a gash taken out here. I think that's okay too. It's a big glue joint. That just about does it for the bottom of this. This needs to be trimmed off. This is sticking out more than it should be. We need to still shim these. These have been cleaned out. All that glue is gone. I'm waiting for these to dry and then I'll put some shims in here. Then we can start sanding it, even up the color, and prepare it for the ribs. Here's our new edge. Planed it off and sanded it. Nice and smooth. It's level. It's sticking out a little more than it should be. It will be trimmed off later. You can see it's sticking out underneath or over the edge. But this is good. This is now a nice solid glue joint. The grain goes the correct way. That's important. It expands with the soundboard. It doesn't expand this way. If the grain was going this way, it would be no good. So this is a good repair. I shimmed this split here. That's good now. The last thing to shim is over here. This big one and this long one. Maybe this one. Little tiny one right there. And probably this one too. That's a little one. It's just about there though. A lot of planing. There's a lot of wood there. Our glue joint is good now. All around. This is okay. So I'll add those shims and we can start working on the press. There's a little pinhole right there. And there. Looks like they pinned pins to the bridge and they went right through the soundboard to locate the bridge to the board. That's just interesting to see. They pinned the bridges. They also pinned the ribs. There's one. It's full of sawdust. There's another one. I was looking at these. They all seem to have disappeared. Here's one. Little pin there. They all seem to be on this side of the ribs. They're not on both sides for some reason. They all seem to have vanished. Let's see if I can find one with a bunch of pins on it. That might be one. Oh, there it is. Little pin. And there's that one. They don't seem to be on this side. I don't know why. They're all on this side of the rib. Like they butted the rib up against the pins. And then I guess they just shaped the ends when they were glued on. I think that's how they do it. I don't think they're shaped before they go on. I've seen old videos of them shaping the ribs when they're on the board. So that's interesting. It's neat to look at. Old locator pins. You can think of how they used to build these. I don't know if they still build them like that, maybe. 1880s Steinway. Here's one more look at the bottom of the soundboard. I'm going to give it quite a bit of sanding now, smoothing it out, even up the color. Here's the last shim I put in, long shim, and the little shim there. I think that does it for the shims. We might put one more, I think, under this block. We might put one here. When we put it on the press and heat it up, this might open a little bit, and if it does, we'll put a shim there. So, I'll get to sanding. Might as well tighten these screws now that we can get at them. Already tightened those. We stripped this inside of these beams as much as we could. A bunch of finish came off. It looks better. We sanded it with some nice sandpaper. It's nice and smooth now, and it's going to get a coat of shellac next. That looks better. Nice coat of shellac. Makes the wood pop. Nice clean wood. I think this is the only time people will ever see this upper half. Is in this video. It's nice to know your piano is beautiful inside and out. Back to the bridge. Giving it a nice sanding. Evening up the color. Some of these dark marks will probably never come out. That's okay. We're not trying to make it look new, just make it look nice, respectable. Nice even color, mostly here. Smooth. This was all full of old finish. I didn't sand this one yet. That'll be sanded. Once all these edges are sanded, it will get a nice thin coat of shellac. And that's just about it for this bridge. It will be looking very nice. Here's that molding for the soundboard. I'm going to clean it up, get it ready to go back on. Clean all this chewed up wood, smoothing that out. That's not too bad. That should go right back. Some more here. We have two nails over here. We think those were added when they added the pin block. They must have damaged this when they removed the old pin block. And they just put some nails in there. Those might be tricky to pull out. Hopefully it doesn't take any wood with it. So I'll get to working on this. I'll come back when I'm maybe halfway through, and it should be looking a lot better. Just barely grabbing it. There we go. That was easy. Didn't damage the wood. Very nice. This crack might open up and we can put some nice glue in there, and that will be very solid. Okay. Got loose veneer on this side here. Sometimes it doesn't work too well. Oops. Let's try this one. Wipe it up. There we go. See that? Gooshing out all over there. That's good. So that one's all full of glue. Let's try to fill this one. This one should be easier. I think it's more open. start here. There we go. Just gotta recharge.
That one did good.
You can see it gushing out everywhere. That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
And we will now clamp it. Here's our nice sanded bottom half of the soundboard, sanded rib. Here's our clamp and our big press, and we are just about ready to press this first rib on. So we're going to cover this all up and heat it up, make sure it's nice and warm, and squeeze it on. Yep, hold on.
That's pretty good. Here. Oh, I can't find the tool. That looks pretty good. Squeeze it down tight. Good. Pretty good. Of course, we always do the middle ones first. Make sure that middle's down. Pretty tight. You remember when it was on? There you go. Yeah, right there. Oh, you got it. I don't remember. Yeah, something like that. This works pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, it's all down. Maybe these two. I'll go over my hand. Make sure. Strip bowl. Ten more ribs.
The board is very dry right now. Sometimes little cracks open up, and if they're too big, we put a little shim in them.
Now's the time.
Here's the other side of the piano case. You can hear this. This is loose. From about here to about, oh, over here it's bubbled up a little. This feels good, and this area, you can hear it. So this will need to be glued, just like we did the other side, and over here. That's going to be glued next. There we go, that was good. There. There we go. Maybe I'll use 2 layers of paper next time. It looks flat now. That's good. This will come off with hot water, easy. It's not loose anymore. That's good. It looks nice and flat too. A little bit of sanding will clean up all this melted finish, and then some shellac, maybe black shellac, and this will be looking very good. Now I have to move on to this part. It's a little trickier. It's curved. It's a long one too. It goes from here up to here. It's a big long one on a curve. I have all these blocks here. I'll set that up next and glue it. Excellent. A little over here.
Fill that up nice, Doctor.
That's everything. That was easy. This might be tricky. Here's that inner rim that had loose veneer. There's still some glue on there that will be cleaned off. This is very solid now. No buzzes will come out of this. We'll put some black shellac over this, I think, and it will be very good looking. You won't be able to tell that it was all messed up like this. All this kind of funny looking finish. I think the only thing left to do on this case is to go over this glue joint here and find any loose pieces like this little tiny piece. Camera's not focusing, but that is loose. We'll glue that. Over here there is a chunk missing, little chunk of maple. I'll put a piece of maple back there, make a nice glue joint. That's pretty much it for this case. We have the original dowels. That's nice. They are the correct height, so when we put them back, the plate should be exactly where it was, or very, very close.
Now, why do we do this? Looks tedious. Well, I can feel the pressure nice and even on this beam, and we have a steel beam down below, so we can really squeeze this irregular surface nice and round again. Presses it flat, makes it nice and uniform curve in here. Otherwise it would be all over the place. But I can see the glue squeezing out in here. And I can really tell if it needs more pressure in some places. And it's just about right about now. It is very good. Every one of them has the same torque on it. Every one. You can feel if one was a little light. So there we have it. Another one.
That's 5 ribs back on the board. some in the treble, and 2 left in the bass.
Okay, so now we're going to make ready another one, maybe this one, because we can go this way. Yep, that's what we'll do. We'll make this ready for the next rib. Maybe 2. We'll see.
Yes, we really sand these,
Mm-hmm.
smoothen them out, make them nice and even, good even color. All of this, most of this will sand out, all this dark. Should be good.
Right.
Here's the sanded board now. Looks much better. We can locate the rib to it and wait for that one to dry and then glue this one. Here's the last base rib glued on. Looks good. Clean wood. Over here we just pressed this one in the treble. We have 3 more. And then our original soundboard will be all together.